So I'm not wearing much of any makeup. Actually, I'm not wearing any makeup at all because I wanted to come today and share with you the Shea Moisture Cosmetics that I got from Target the other day. I'm super excited because when I started to really embrace my curly hair and wear it out, Shea Moisture products were basically the first ones I tried to give me moisture and to hydrate my hair and make it look really nice. So when I found out that they were coming out with the cosmetics line, I was like, okay, well, I have to give this a try if I like the hair products so much, and especially if you know, the products are going to be good for you. So I have a foundation, I have some eyeshadows, and I also have a lip product that's in this little case that I purchased separately also. So I'll actually get on with the foundation because I'm going to do a look and sort of like a first impressions, and I'm going to play with the makeup so you can see what it looks like. So the first thing is the foundation. So this is called the Sheer Foundation, and the bottle says that it minimizes the appearance of signs of aging while hydrating skin for a healthy look all day long. So I bought the shade Kata Sand. I'm going to take it out of the packaging. So the back of it says, this lightweight, long-wearing formula softens the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles while providing medium to full coverage and a naturally dewy finish. No parabens, dermatologist tested, and non-comedogenic. Alright, so I moisturize my skin, and I'm wondering if I should put a primer on. Maybe I'll do half and half. Okay, so I'm going to do half side of primer and then half side not primer. So I'm just going to use a really standard primer. This is the SmashBox Photo Finish Oil Free. So it doesn't have any oil, and I don't think this foundation has oil either. I think this one is oil free too. Doesn't say though. Maybe it says on the package. So nowhere on this package do I see oil free. Okay, so it doesn't say oil free, so if you are concerned about oil, just be wary of that. So I'm just going to use this primer on half the side of my face. So I'll put the primer on this side. So I'm just trying to see if the texture will be the same with the primer. Okay, so upon taking it out of the tube, it's not completely runny, but it's not very thick and stiff. So it has a pretty standard foundation feel to it, and I think the color is actually pretty good, other than the fact that it might be a little bit orangey on me, but that's as close as I could get, you know, with not being able to test out the foundation in the store. I think the shade, one shade lighter than this would have been a little bit too light. So I'm just kind of dotting it all over. Now it has no scent to it whatsoever, and it's not sticky or tacky or anything like that. It's pretty smooth, and it's not super thick either. So I bought this foundation for, I'm just using a Real Techniques buffing brush to buff that in. So I bought this foundation for $12.99. That's what the shelf said, but then when I got to the lady, she was telling me that it was $14.90. Well, it rang up as $14.99, and I told her, I said, well, it said $12.99, so she gave it to me for $12.99. So I'm not sure how much it's going to be at your local Target or wherever you're going to purchase it, but I got mine for $12.99. So I'm just using this buffing brush to sort of buff it in. It has a little bit of resistance to it, not anything, you know, really crazy or anything like that, but I can feel that it's trying, the brush is trying to grip it, and it's dragging just a little bit. So it's not super smooth or anything like that, but the back of the bottle does say to blend quickly. So you just want to apply and blend very quick, and I like this color. I think this color looks really great. Now it says medium to full coverage, so right now it's looking kind of medium, a little sheer I guess, and I put a fair amount of the foundation on. Now you can see that I have a pretty faint mole right here. Well, not really faint, but I have a mole right here, so that will be my indication of how much coverage this foundation will give. So I'm going to add another layer to see if I can build it up to full coverage for you girls that like full coverage. I typically don't wear full coverage, but you know, this is a test. So, and I also have a little bit of redness around my nose, and it covered some of it, but it's still a little bit red, so I'm gonna dot some of that there to try to see how much of my redness it can cover. So I think if I sort of stipple it in 2 layers, so I had one sheer layer, and then if I stipple another layer, so my redness is gone now with that second layer. I'm gonna try to see if it'll cover that mole. Not because I want it covered because I don't like it, but just because I want to see how full the coverage can get. So I'm going to do one more layer. And it's starting to get pretty full, I think. Now, if you want a foundation that's going to cover darkness around the eyes, I think this does a pretty fair job. It's not going to completely cover darkness, but I think it does well enough. So let's try to buff that mole in. Okay, so that mole is not going to go away. You might need 3 layers if you really, really want to cover blemishes, dark spots, things like that. But it's starting to get kind of heavy, and I can feel the foundation on my skin. Like, I definitely feel like I'm wearing makeup. So it's not so lightweight that it just feels like nothing. And it definitely has that dewy finish. So if you have super oily skin or you like a really matte finish, this foundation might not be for you. Now, to counteract some of that dewiness, what you could do is add a mattifying primer and a mattifying powder right on top if you don't like that dewiness. Now, I like a little bit of dewy. I think it looks really fresh, especially for summertime, but right now it's a lot of dewy. So I'm going to take a powder just to matte that down. I'm using my Bare Minerals Tinted Touch-Up Veil, and I'm just going to take a Real Techniques, I think this one's a powder brush, or it could be multi-purpose, and I'm going to take that down my T-zone to see how much of that shine I can take down. And I also want to set the foundation too, because I don't want it to move during the day, because it doesn't say that it's oil free, and I have combo skin as well, so let's give that a really good powder down. So even with the powder, I'm still getting a lot of shine coming through, which is, right at this point, it's more of a natural skin finish. So it's not super dewy. I would call it, yeah, natural skin, like satin. It's a satin finish with the powder. Okay, so that is foundation done. So I'm going to move on to the eyes. So I bought a couple of eye products. So this one here is called Montana. Now they come in this package like this, which looks just like that. So you're going to have to buy something to put these in. They come with, you can buy an additional container. I think the container is probably, I think $2 for the container to put this single in. Or what I ended up doing was getting a palette. So this palette here, it looks like this is what it comes in. And this is the palette. So it's just a magnetic case, and this is what it looks like. So it snaps close together so you can take it with you to travel if you drop it. I'm not sure if the shadows will be protected if it's dropped. They might crack, but either way, you just want to be careful with your makeup anyway. So yeah, I bought this one for $6.99. Okay, so when you take your eyeshadows out of that package, then it just snaps right into the magnetic case. So you can fit about, I would say about 6 of these. You can fit about 6 of the eyeshadows slash cheek and lip colors slash mineral powders. So the first eyeshadow that I bought was this one. This one is called Montana, and it is a shimmery sort of chenille, like a champagne shade. So I'll put it on the back of my hand so you can see how shimmery that is. Isn't that gorgeous? So this will be really nice as an inner corner highlight, or as in sort of a shimmery shade for your lid. The only thing that I find is that this color does come out a little bit crumbly, so it's very dry. It's not smooth and creamy. So this shade right here is Taylor. It's this vivid, not even a navy blue. I would call this something like cerulean, or maybe not even cerulean. This shade is so hard to describe, but in the pan it's so vivid, and then the swatch doesn't come up as vivid. So I'll put it on the back of my hand. So, you know, you can see the pigmentation is a little bit lost from the pan to my hand. It's not as bright as it is in the pan. And then this one is called Bo-Kaap Peach. So I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But this is actually a lip and cheek color. So you can wear this on the lip and you can wear this on the cheek. It's a really pretty peach color and it has a little bit of a sheen to it. So it's going to be a really nice cream blush and a really moisturizing lipstick. So those are the colors that I purchased. They have a full range of eyeshadows, lip and cheek colors. Let's start with eyes. I'm going to go ahead and just add a primer. This is my SmashBox. I think this is called the Photo Finish Lid Primer. I'm going to add a little bit of that just to intensify the colors of the eyeshadows. I'm not sure what kind of look I'm going to do. I think I'm just pretty much going to wing it. We'll see. Alright, so I am pretty fascinated by that blue, which is why I bought it. Out of all the wearable colors that they have. So I think I'm going to do maybe a blue on the lid. Maybe like a smoky blue look. I'm not sure. So I'm going to take a MAC 239. It's a flat shader brush. And I'm just going to apply that to my lid. Now, like I said, this color, the color payoff is not as rich as it is in the pan, which is sort of disappointing. Because if it really was as bright as that blue in that pan, that would be amazing. But I'm just going to have to pack on that color to get it as intense as I possibly can. Now I do like the sheen that this eyeshadow has. It has a really pretty sheen to it. So it's not a flat matte blue. And I'm not going all the way in with this blue color either. I want to leave a little bit of room. So that way it doesn't close my eye. And I might slightly drag that out. Okay, so before I blend or do anything else, I'm going to add a little bit of that to my lower lash line, just at the outer edge. Okay, so once I have that color down, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use MAC Saddle, so it's this mid-tone brown here. Shea Moisture does have a brown, so if you wanted to go with all Shea Moisture products, you can do a mid-tone brown from them, or any mid-tone brown you already have, or a bronzer or anything like that. So I'm just going to take a fluffy crease brush and that MAC Saddle, and I'm going to apply that to my crease. That's going to help me to blend that dark blue out so I don't have any harsh edges. Okay, so you should have something like that. So before I even finish with the eyes, I have to get my brows out of the way. I didn't see that they had any brow products, so you're going to have to still use the ones that you normally wear. But I'm just going to use my Anastasia dip brow and an angle brush as per usual. And I think you really need brows with this look. It's just such a dramatic eye look that you can't compromise on that. So I'm just going to fill them in like I normally do. So I'm going to go back to the eyes, and with the same flat shader brush but the other side, I'm going to pick up some of that Montana, so that's that shimmery champagne color, and I'm going to add that just to my inner corner, and I'm going to take a little bit of that onto the lid, about that far. Now you want to make sure you tap, because this color does have a lot of fallout. Like I said, it's dry, so it gets kind of crumbly and it falls out a lot. I'm trying to think. Yeah, let's do a little bit of liner. So I'm using a winged, I'm going to just wing it out slightly with my pen liner from Rimmel. Then I'm going to take my black liner from Devitt, and I'm going to darken up my waterline with this color. Then I'm going to take a silver liner from Devitt, and I'm actually going to apply that underneath that black just to intensify. And then I'm going to create a line to match that wing. And then I'm going to take a pencil brush and go right on top of that silver line out here with that blue. So that one again is called Taylor. So it's just going to make the blue look a little more metallic underneath the eye. Okay, so once we have that done, we're going to go on to mascara. So I'm using my Bobbi Brown Smoky Lash, or no, Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara. And this is going to give me maximum lashes very quickly. And then don't forget bottom lashes as well. Okay, so now that the eyes are done, I put on some lashes. These are Red Cherry 213s. I added some more mascara, and I think I'm good with the eyes. I've added as much as I could possibly add. So I'm going to go ahead and add some concealer to underneath my eyes just to clean it up and to highlight just a tad. So I'm using my MAC NC30 Pro Longwear concealer. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of that just in this area. Now this stuff is really pigmented, so I don't want to go too heavy-handed because I don't want too heavy of a look. I still want it to be very light and fresh. So adding too much concealer and highlighting too much is just going to make the look just so heavy. And around my nose where I still have that redness that I like to get rid of. And I hate to cover my mole, so I always try to dab that. I take that on my forehead and a little bit on my chin. So just very light highlighting. And I'm going to set that highlight again with my touch-up veil from Bare Minerals just to set all that into place. And then I want to add a little bit of bronzer because I love bronzer. So I'm using my Bare Minerals Color Boost in the Beaches Waiting, and I'm literally, there's two bronzers. So there's the shimmery one, this one is the High Dive, it's more of a matte, warm bronzer, and then that's an illuminator. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to swirl it in all three because I want a nice glow to my skin. So I'm just going to work in the back of my cheekbones. And this is going to bronze and illuminate at the same time since I basically swirled the brush in all three of the shades. It's going to give me a really nice highlight and bronzed effect all in one. So you can already see the shine that it's going to give me. I want that J-Lo glow. I love J-Lo. If you want to know anything about me, I absolutely love J-Lo and Angelina Jolie. Those are my favorites. Down to my nose as well. Because mixing all three together is going to give me a sort of highlighted and contoured effect on my nose. And then I'm taking that onto my cheekbones. And that's it for bronzer. So now lastly, I'm going to add my cheek and lips. So that's that Bo-Kaap, I can't ever say it, but it's this shade right here. So I'm just going to use that same contour brush that I used for my concealer. I'm going to dab a little bit of that into the product, and I'm going to pop that on the apples of my cheeks. I'm not adding too much, the eyes are already competing with the world. And then once I have cheeks, I'm going to go ahead and do lips. Just going to use my finger. This is going to be really easy, nothing high maintenance. Oh my god, this color for a lip, oh my goodness. Absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. I love that! Oh my god, I love the lips. That's so pretty. So that is my Shea Moisture sort of review, first impressions, makeup look. The eyes are definitely dramatic, but I'm so sick of doing natural eyes all the time. I mean, how many natural looks can I really do? I mean, I can do a ton, but I kind of wanted to do a little bit, something a little bit more dressy. It's the summer, you want to look pretty and vibrant, and you can wear this at nighttime, going out, to dinner, anywhere like that, to a show, concerts. So yeah, leave your comments below on any Shea Moisture cosmetic products that you have tried, if you have tried any, and leave me your thoughts and suggestions, and don't forget to like and subscribe. So until next time, guys, bye!